freedom, honor, discovery, romance, opportunity, slavery and imprisonment, disgrace, concealment, faithlessness, and opportuneness. What do all these words have in common? History. Every single one of these words has its own meaning, but put together, this is the sum of human history. I don't know what it's like in history throughout all of it, but I know these have always been in balance until now, where these are all shifting. Slavery has turned into capitalism and everything's disappearing. But I hope that in the future, this can all go back. I've asked myself many questions throughout my life, and a lot of them don't have answers. And that concept has fascinated me since I was a tiny little child. The concept that some questions don't have answers is both theoretical and a lie. If it has happened in history, it has an answer. You just may never know it. But even so, people strive to know that. People delve into ruins of ancient civilizations and find what we want, what we think is missing from the whole picture, in an effort to piece together what happened. Which brings me to my main point. The preservation of history, the way we do it, is getting in the way of progress. I'm not saying we shouldn't preserve it or that we should forget about it. I am saying that we should change the way we preserve it. The way we preserve history is very strange if you look at it objectively. We don't do what most people do with old stuff that we have no more use for. We put it on display after we have already learned everything we can from it. So, because heaven forbid we put this poor soul to rest that we found in Pompeii or something that still had a skeletal structure somehow back in the ground somewhere. So, I mean, how would you feel if 1,000 years from now, after we all drop dead, some new civilization came and dug us up and put us on display? I know I would not like it. I'd want to be in the ground or behind a safe rock wall. This isn't a huge problem with all of this, but we are preserving everything when we do not need to. When we learn our lesson from this object or this building and it serves no more further use, we can just let go of it. Because we are attached to some things to very, very high degrees that just will not let us let go, but we need to. For example, my house growing up was very old, very historical, but we knew everything about it, but it still served its purpose. It kept us warm in the winter. It provided a place for me to grow up. And just a few blocks away was my ancestral home, where it was old. Bunches of it were made of wood. It was rotting. It cost more to keep it together than to buy a new house or even build a new house in some places. So we let it go. By that, I mean we sold it. We didn't tear it down like we probably should have. But even with all this old and cultural stuff maybe being destroyed and replaced with new modern things in the sake of progress that could destroy history, our understanding of it, which we shouldn't do. I have an idea where we could create little villages where we could recreate how a culture was in a certain time and have people live there and just live as they did and see how they would have progressed if they hadn't been assimilated or destroyed or some great calamity hadn't happened to them. Pompeii. But we need to stop letting the world's history be a shackle to us. We need to start letting it be our stepping stone that we get over in order to progress further into the future. Thank you.